Hello. Welcome everyone to your design challenge. My name is amazing challenge that we have today. To download the free resources, just, simply click on the link below so you can download those assets, or you can use your own files or your own assets. Welcome everyone on the chat right here. Yesterday we had so much fun creating this amazing, cool photo manipulation and, using different techniques and stuff like that. But today we have something totally different. Don't forget, don't forget to join our Discord, because we have mentors there that can definitely help you level up your design skills. And also, you can connect with other creatives as well, so that way you can get more inspiration. Also, make sure you tune in every single day, because we are live on Behance every single day with tutorials like this one. All right, so that being said, let's jump into what the design challenge is going to be about today. And today we're going to be doing some photography and blending. So we're going to use some of the blend modes and stuff like that. We're going to use color. We're going to use other techniques. We're going to use adjustment layers and stuff like that to create a harmonious or a really cool double exposure effect in Photoshop. So that being said, let's get started right away. So if you're joining us right now from on Behance or YouTube, welcome. And there's a source file link in the description below, so you can download it right now and you can follow along. Also, just remember, guys, that we also have all these tutorials and all these challenges on our Adobe Live YouTube channel, and also on our Behance live streams. So you can come back later and rewatch whatever you want. All right, so let's get started with the two images that I provided. And what I'm gonna do is just grab these two images, open them in Photoshop, and we're gonna start right away. We have a really nice looking CD, which I don't know which CD this is, but it looks really dope. And then we have our subject, which in this case is a cowboy. So we're gonna silhouette this and we're gonna get him out of that background. So let's just duplicate this layer by pressing Command J. And then what we're gonna do is just make a quick selection. And what I like to do is, select my subject. I go into the properties here and then go and select subject. And then I see that I have a selection there already, but we're going to zoom in because there's some parts that are kind of not right. So this part right here. So we're going to make sure we include that in the selection. So I use my polygon tool, and then I'm going to press shift inside the selection. And then I'm going to start kind of doing my selection. I'm going to eyeball this, but we're gonna fix this selection in a bit, so bear with me here. So I think until you see the little circle, you have a plus and then you see the little circle, then click. That way you include that selection in here. Also, there's a little weird thing happening here, so I'm gonna just fix this with the polygon tool, pretty straightforward. Okay, so I got that part. Let's see if there's something else. We can fix that too. So let's get in there and just, for the sake of this, perfect. I think we got it ready. Let's see if there's anything else within his face or. All right, I think, okay, there's something in here in his hat. So we're gonna zoom in by pressing Command plus, and just, with the polygon tool, of course, you can use whatever you want, of course. This is the beauty of Photoshop, that you can, it gives you the flexibility to do whatever you want as a designer. So you can use different techniques, different ways to approach things. Okay, I'm gonna select that in here, and then also there's a little bit of more hat in there that I want to include. So I'm gonna just go ahead and include that as well. All right, so boom, whoops, perfect. Let's zoom out there's a little bit of something happening here on the hat, on the top of the hat. So it's not that bad, but I'm just gonna fix it pretty quick. Perfect. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, zoom out, like Command or Control on your PC, minus. And I think we got it. So I think we got the subject already. And then once you have your selection, how you want it, make sure you have either the polygon tool or the rectangle tool, whatever. You just need to have a selection tool, and then go into the top here and select and mask. And that's it. And then what this is going to do is just like, you can even tune it even more, like if you wanted to. But I think we have a pretty decent selection here. So I'm not going to bother it a lot more. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And then I'm going to go down into the output and select new layer with layer mask. Select that one, press OK. And now we have it, if you turn off like the background, we have it isolated already. So that's what we want. So next thing I want to do right now is actually to, create a background layer. And I'm going to go into the adjustment layer on the bottom and then click on solid color. And then for now, we're going to select white for now. Then press OK. All right. So now we have our subject, which is here, and then we have our background, which is here. Just subject, press enter. And then what we're going to do is just, let's make it black and white for this double exposure challenge. We're going to go down again into our adjustment layer, and we're going to add in a black and white adjustment layer. And then because you want this to just like affect the subject, make sure you clip it to the subject. The way you do this is by pressing Option or Alt on your PC. And then you're going to see, like in between the layers, you're going to see a little down arrow. So just click on it so that way you clip it. And now whatever changes you make to this adjustment layer, it's just going to apply to that selection. So we're going to go there. Make sure you click on the actual adjustment layer and not the mask. So when you see those little 4 squares like within the adjustment layer, then you're going to go into the preset, and then just like, experiment. Like pick the one that you like the most, black and white effect. And then, this is like very high contrast. Depends on what you want on your needs. I'm just going to keep going and looking for the one. Maybe I want more contrast, but then I'm going to turn it down just a tiny bit. Go into your opacity and just like, so that way you see a little bit of color coming through. You see like his color skin, like right there. There's no color skin, but then if you turn it down a little bit, you kind of like see a little bit of that skin tone. So we want to do that. We're going to keep that the way it is. Then what we're going to do is actually, now we're going to go and bring this beautiful image into the picture. So we're going to go grab it and just like drop it in there. Once you have it in there, what you're going to do is just press Command T or Control T on your PC. And then look for the angle that you like the most, or whatever you want to do. Like if you want to tilt it this way or that way, I think I'm going to go this way, maybe. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger actually. And then, so that way, if you want a trick, like to see the positioning of it, you can go ahead and just like turn down the opacity. So that way you see your subject behind it. So that way you have a better like understanding of like, okay, so I can put it here, there, whatever. So I'm going to just like eyeball it, and I'm going to probably go like around there. I'm going to press enter. Again, go back into your opacity and turn it all the way up to 100. And then this is where the magic is going to happen. So you're going to select the city. Let's just name this city and go into your blending modes here. Right now it's set up normal. We're going to click on it, and then we're going to go into either lighten or screen, but I'm going to go through all of them so that way you can see like what's going to happen. So you see like there's some sort of blending in there, but lighten or screen is the one that we're going to aim for. And I do like screen more, of course, because you can see more of the, and I'm going to just like go ahead and zoom in a little bit so that way you can see more details on the face. So check this out. Select your CD, like the other image that you want to expose, and then click on the blending modes, and then go down into lighten and then screen. Screen, it's a little bit better because you know you can see more of the subject, of the cowboy. So I'm gonna leave it at screen. And then one thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to clip it to the actual, you know, cowboy, to the actual silhouette. So because I don't want this to be, if we change the color, we might be able to see some of the other stuff here in the sky, and we don't want that. So just clip it to the actual silhouette. So hold down Option, and then you're gonna see the little down arrow with the white box. Just click on it, so that way it's clipped to the actual, you know, silhouette, and that's what you want. Perfect. And then another thing that I wanted to do is just like, you know, kind of like bring some adjustment layers so you can play with more contrast and stuff like that to make it more dramatic. So we're going to go ahead and go down into your adjustment layer. And then what we're going to do is just add in probably curves. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to clip it to the whole thing. We're going to clip it to the actual silhouette. We don't want this to be applied to the whole, you know, canvas. So hold down Option or Alt on your PC, and then just click. Then click on the actual, you know, blending adjustment layer, not the mask, but the actual little circle here. And then we're gonna bring some of the dark. We're gonna push it to the right just a tiny bit, so you see the contrast right there. So we're gonna bring some of that contrast, and then on the light side we can bring it also just a tiny bit because it's way too much. It's very pronounced. Also, you can play with the levels here, like this straight white line. You can just like grab one point and just like start pulling if you need to. I think that's cool. That's looking pretty cool. There you go. And one thing that I like to do when I'm playing with, you know, double exposure and stuff like that, it's like if I wanted to see more of the cowboy, like let's say I wanted to see a little more like of his mouth maybe, or the hat or something like that, we can do that by, you know, erasing some of that with the masking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the actual CD, which is right here. This is why naming your layers is very, very important. So what we're gonna do is just, hey Voodoo Val, how's it going? So what we're gonna do is just press on the CD, which is the top photograph that you want to exposure, and then create a layer mask. So go down here. It's next to the icon is next to the adjustment layer. Just click on layer mask, and then press B. All right. Or select your brush. You go here and select your brush. Make sure it's a soft brush. Then left bracket, you make it smaller. Also, I wanted to make sure like I don't delete like completely. So I go in here on the top and under my opacity, just like turn it down a little bit, maybe like a 60 or something like that. And then what you're gonna do is just make sure you're not on this layer, like you are on the CD layer, but you are on the mask layer of that layer, if that makes sense. And then start painting where you wanted to remove, you know, some of this stuff. See, like we kind of like brought some of his chin now. I still think it's way too pronounced. So go into your brush again at the top and just the opacity, turn it down to 40, maybe 37, something like that. And then you want to bring some of that, you know, maybe some of this, maybe, so that way it's not so pronounced. Also, you can turn down the opacity just a tiny bit on the whole layer. So click on the layer, turn down the opacity just a tiny bit, kind of like here. And you're going to be able to see, you know, kind of like the whole silhouette, which is pretty cool. And right there, you know, for me, that kind of like works. But of course, we're going to do more stuff to this composition. One thing I wanted to do, I'm going to blend it in with the background. So, and also probably change the background color to something lighter or something like yellowish or something like, kind of like pick some of that color there. So I'm going to go into my background color. I'm going to double click and I'm going to pick like a lighter color maybe. And then from here, from your color picker, just like, I don't know, pick something that is like kind of cool. Maybe something like about there. That's perfect. And then what we're going to do is just delete some of the back of it. So that way it kind of like blends in with the background type of thing. So we don't want to see that sharp edge. You could if you want to, but for this example, what we're going to do is just press B for your brushes and make it super big. And then remember the opacity is turned down to 36. We're going to bring it to 100%. And then go into your subject. And because we have everything, you know, clipped into this subject, everything is going to take effect. So meaning that if I remove this whole thing, it's going to do the same thing, and we're not going to have leftovers of adjustment layer stuff on top of it. So we're going to just start removing this. We're going to make it a little bit bigger by pressing the bracket, and we're going to start painting just a tiny bit. And look at how cool that looks. We can make it even bigger and just like delete more stuff if we wanted to. And we can move this whole thing again. Like if we want to, we can just like Command T, select all, and just like move it here on the side maybe, because you probably have some text here on the right, on the left. That's it. Then another trick that I wanted to add in here, it's select everything, press Command G for grouping. This is going to be number 1 because we're going to do another one too. And then what I like to do is also like playing around with gradient maps. So go into your adjustment layer and then click on gradient map. This is another trick that you can do also. Like you can see, like we have a black and white gradient map here, but we're going to move this on the side. And what we're going to do is actually, let's pick something, you know, something like around here, maybe like oranges, or yeah, maybe that kind of works. And then what you want to do, like if you want to see more of the dark areas, what you could do is actually just double click here and then make it a little bit darker. So that way you can see, you know, if I move this to white, of course it's going to be kind of weird, but you want to keep it within the same hue type of thing and make it a little, you know, maybe something like that. Press OK and then press OK again. And then another thing you can do is actually you can double click the new layer, the gradient map. And then what we're going to do is just like go underline layer and then press Option. And then what you could do is just like bring some of that darkness in there. Like it's going to bring some of that dark background to make it look more realistic per se. And then lower the opacity just a tiny bit. Like about there. There you go. Yeah, so, you know, before, after, and if you want to see the whole thing, we can just like group the whole thing together, and you see the before, you see the after. All right, so we have a couple of minutes, so let's play again with two more images that I have, so that way you can see how you can, do this with different images, different colors, different textures. So I'm going to bring them up right now. So we have these two images. So I'm going to bring them into Photoshop. We have these two new images. We're going to do the same thing pretty quick. We're going to do a selection, Command J to duplicate this. We're going to go into select subject. It's going to select my subject. And then once I'm happy with the selection, let's say we're happy with it, go into your selection tool, any selection tool, and then select and mask. And then I think we're happy with this selection. Then go down and press, new layer with layer mask. And then click OK. Now we have it. Let's create now our background color. So we're going to go again into your adjustment layers, select solid color, and then let's pick white for now. Boom, done. In the subject, let's just flip him because I don't like this angle. So I'm going to just Control T or Command T, and then just right click and then flip horizontal. Boom. Now I have my subject already silhouetted. I have my background. And then what I'm going to do is just bring in my new photo, which is this one. So I'm going to grab it and just like drop it inside this file. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, Command or Control minus, and then Control T or Command T to transform it. So that way I can, rotate it whatever angle I want. Remember that we can go into the opacity, just turn it down a little bit. So that way we can see what's going on in the background. Let's see, I want to make it like, I don't know, maybe like around there, maybe. Yeah, something like about there. So double click to release that transform, bring the opacity again to 100%. And remember, we are going to go into the blending modes. And then right now it's normal. We're going to go either for lighten or screen. So we have lighten, we have screen. I probably like screen better. I can still see some of the colors and stuff like that. So I'm going to just add an adjustment layer for black and white for the subject. So I'm going to go into my adjustment layer again and click in black and white. Remember that we just want to apply this to the subject. So make sure you clip mask this. And then you have your selection there. Perfect. And then what you're going to do is probably you're going to erase some of that background, some of the back of his head. So let's click on the actual mask, press B, and then, whoops, one thing that I forgot is to clip mask also the second photo. So make sure you clip it. That way you're in there. Then go into your subject again, click on the mask, and then start, painting. So that way you can remove that section from there, which is kind of cool. We can also add in, I'm going to go ahead and add in a curves. So I'm going to go into my adjustment layer again. I'm going to click on curves. I'm going to clip it, hold down Option, Alt on your PC and clip it again. So everything is just clipped. And then just playing around with your, with your curves here. We can do something like that, maybe super drastic. And last, what we could do here is probably like adding like a gradient map as we did for the other one. So go down again, gradient map, and then go ahead and pick, let's pick a green one, maybe like a green one, something like, I don't know, something that you feel, something like about, yeah, something like that. That kind of works. Not that much. I like this one. Just make the darker, just a little bit darker, so that way you can see more. Oh, that's kind of cool. Press OK. Perfect. You can also, for the sake of this, just you can type, double exposure. Whoops. Where is this file? I'm going to make it probably like super small. So I'm going to make it super bigger. Okay. color is white. Okay, I see it there. For some reason, I'm not seeing it. Is the opacity to 100%? Yes, it is. All right, I don't know what's going on here. I know I typed in something, and I'm gonna just like command click just to see. There's nothing in there actually. That's okay. Let's see if I can do it again. Double exposure. And it's white, and I'm gonna go ahead and make it, 100. There you go. I can see it now. All right, double exposure. Let's break it into 2. Let's bring down the leading. Right now it's 30, so let's make it 65. All right, and I think we got it. Whoops. I think I have to make it a little bit, probably like 300 or something like that. And that's pretty much it for today's challenge. I hope you guys like it. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.